If you live in a town, if you were afraid to pronounce the name of that town, take a good look at this one. Tricky, isn't it? It's pronounced Fuquay-Varina. Yes, it might look like something different. You may have said something even wildly inappropriate, but do not be intimidated by the name of this town and don't write it off your list because it is a great Raleigh-Durham suburb for you to consider. Fuquay-Varina is often just called Fuquay, or if you're real hip like myself, the Quay. It is a very popular Raleigh-Durham suburb, but I want you to decide for yourself if it's the right fit for you. So I'm gonna give you my top 5 pros and my top 5 cons of living in Fuquay. My name is Keith O'Hare, and I'm a realtor who helps buyers and sellers in the Raleigh-Durham market, which includes Fuquay-Varina. Now, Fuquay is an area my buyers are consistently choosing, so I know this area well. Let's get started with the pros. Pro number 5 is downtown. Fuquay-Varina has a great downtown area. It reminds me a little bit of Apex. You could argue that Fuquay has even more going on in its downtown area. There are the shops on Main, which are home to 30 different shops all under one roof. There are great places for coffee and baked treats like Stick Boy Bread Company and Cultivate Coffee Roasters. Excellent restaurants for lunch or dinner like Amos Pizzeria and Mason Jar Tavern, as well as El Cantorito. And finally, one of my favorite parts of downtown Fuquay are all the great local breweries like Aviator, Fainting Goat, Vicious Fishes, and Oakland Springs Brewery. There is even a Brewquay Prowler Tour where you can tour the different breweries of downtown Fuquay. The Prowler Tour websites, you will have a Fuquin awesome time. If you love a small town downtown with charm, then Fuquay is a great place to consider. Pro number 4 is new construction homes. If you are looking for a new construction home, Fuquay-Varina has a lot of options. There are tons of new construction communities actively being built and others that are in the works. There's also a wide range of new construction opportunities too, like a Del Webb 55+ community called Carolina Gardens that has incredible amenities like a fitness center, pool, pickleball courts, and a club for residents. Then there are great opportunities for first-time home buyers like Providence Creek and Birchwood Grove, which have a great starting price point of under $400,000, which is hard to find in Wake County. This opens the door for many first-time home buyers or for those looking for a less expensive alternative compared to Holly Springs, Cary, and Apex. Please note that each builder in our area approaches a new construction home differently. Some allow you to pick your lot, floor plan, structure options, and design studio selections. Your final purchase price can vary a good amount in this situation because it all depends on what options you select. On the flip side, some builders are building out spec homes where everything has been selected and it has a set price. It is a new construction home, but you don't pick anything about it. You got to take it or leave it. The good news is most of the spec homes I've had my buyers pick like most of the options that are selected, but you don't get to personally pick them out. So you personally have to decide whether that option would be the right fit for you. If you are interested in a brand new construction home where your dollar goes a little further, then Fuquay-Varina is definitely a good option to consider. Pro number 3 is schools. Fuquay-Varina is in the coveted Wake County public school system. As I've discussed in other videos, since the schools in North Carolina are mostly county-based, it matters more on what county you live in than on what town you live in for school assignment purposes. Fuquay is at the very southern end of Wake County, so it's still in those Wake County schools. One of the gems of Fuquay-Varina is the new Fuquay-Varina High School. The old school building was not in the best shape and was torn down. This paved the way for a new state-of-the-art building with some of the nicest facilities you will see in any high school across Wake County. Fuquay also has great schools at the elementary and middle school level. Please be sure to note some of these schools are on the year-round schedule, so make sure to pay attention if that is important to you. For more information about year-round schools, be sure to check out my video explaining how they work. If you want to be in those great Wake County schools, then Fuquay-Varina should definitely be on your list of places to consider. Pro number 2 is parks and recreation. The town of Fuquay-Varina has a great parks and recreation department. It's so good, I think it would make Leslie Knope proud. In Fuquay, you will find 20 parks spread over 500 acres across the town. These include sports field, picnic areas, playgrounds, and more. In addition, Fuquay offers greenway trails, which are fantastic for walking, running, and riding a bike. One of the more popular trails is the Hilltop Needmore Town Park and Preserve, which has a 5-mile trail and over 143 acres of green space. While everything I mentioned is great, if you have kids or grandkids, one of my very favorite things about Fuquay is the splash pad. The triangle area only has a few splash pads, and this is one of the best, if not the best. On a hot summer day, this is such a fun place to take the kids to cool off and burn some energy. The splash pad is free to Fuquay residents as long as you have your resident splash pad card, which can be picked up at the community center. Even if you decide to live someplace other than Fuquay, you can still use the splash pad at a $2 per person charge with one accompanying adult going in for free. If you like enjoying the outdoors, then Fuquay has a lot to offer for you. Pro number 1 is more affordable. Fuquay is way more affordable compared to other neighboring Raleigh suburbs located in Wake County. The average median price point for a single-family home in Cary is $680,000. For Apex, it's $665,000. For Holly Springs, it is $625,000. And for Fuquay-Varina, it is only $475,000. That is a huge difference for Fuquay. Compared to Cary, a home in Fuquay is about $200,000 less. Your dollar goes a lot further in Fuquay, which is why so many people are choosing to live here. You can often get a newer home too, and one that is quite nice, so it isn't like you are giving up on the quality of your home if you want to live in Fuquay. If you want to live in Wake County but really want your dollar to go further for your housing price, then you really cannot beat living in Fuquay. Before I move on to the cons, please be sure to like and subscribe so I know to make more videos like this one, and it tells the YouTube algorithm that you like this content and I should make more of it. Now let's get started with the cons. Con number 5 is you live where? As I joked about in the introduction to this video, people who are not from here don't know how to say the name of this town and often have even never heard of it. They will hesitate or worry they are going to say an expletive. Now that certainly isn't a huge con, but it can be a little bit annoying to have to tell everyone how to say the name of your town or explain where it is in the world that you live, since it isn't as well known or easy to say as just Cary or Apex. The issue of the hyphen and it being 2 words adds another layer of difficulty and room for error. As someone who has an apostrophe in their last name, I can personally attest to it being a bit annoying to have punctuation in your name and how often it gets butchered, especially on computer-generated forms. I'm not saying don't live in Fuquay-Varina because of the name, but be prepared, it could be a bit of a headache. Con number 4 is limited amenity options. Fuquay has the essentials or most of the essentials nearby. There are grocery stores, shopping plazas, and a great downtown, but there are not a lot of higher-end amenities beyond that. For fancier restaurants, you'll be heading into Cary, Raleigh, and Durham. Also, there is a small country club in Fuquay called Bentlin's Country Club, but the more famous and well-known country clubs in the area will be found in Cary, Raleigh, and Durham. Con number 3 is further out. Fuquay-Varina is the last major incorporated town in southern Wake County, so that means it's just further out from other major towns and cities in Wake County. Just south of Fuquay-Varina is Harnett County, where the houses are significantly less, but also don't have as highly rated schools. Fuquay-Varina is about a 35 to 40 minute drive to both downtown Raleigh and Durham. In rush hour, the time to both Raleigh and Durham can be even longer than that. Now, compared to other metro areas like San Francisco or Miami, that is not a bad commute. However, for the Raleigh-Durham area, you are also a bit further away from other things like RDU Airport, concert venues in Raleigh, and performance venues in Durham. If your day-to-day life means you work from home or you have a job based in Fuquay or Holly Springs, you won't notice that Fuquay feels further out. However, if you are regularly commuting or like to frequent restaurants or events in Raleigh and Durham, then you will definitely notice that Fuquay feels that further distance. The good news is that with the expansion of Highway 540, it will help Fuquay with easier transportation access into Durham and all around the triangle. Con number 2 is commuting for work. While Fuquay is a great place to live, it isn't necessarily a place where a lot of people work. Now, there are certainly some companies based in Fuquay, like a really cool one called Bob Barker. No, not the Price is Right Bob Barker, a different one. However, there are just not a ton of job options based in Fuquay. Most people who live in Fuquay have jobs where they can work from home or they are commuting into Cary, Raleigh, Durham, or somewhere else in the Raleigh-Durham area. As I mentioned before, Fuquay is a bit further out, so if you want to live in Fuquay but need to go in for work, realize that you may be looking at a bit of a commute. Con number 1 is still developing. The path of growth from Raleigh has expanded outward, heading south of Raleigh. First it was Cary, then it was Apex, then it was Holly Springs, and now it is Fuquay-Varina. Cary, Apex, and really even Holly Springs feel pretty developed at this point. There is still some development in Apex and Holly Springs, but both feel much more established now. Fuquay-Varina very much feels like it's an up-and-coming town that is still rich in its more rural roots. It is not uncommon to encounter a lot of farmland as you drive through Fuquay, or a ton of new construction housing developments as the path of growth continues. You will find grocery stores and shopping plazas in Fuquay like you would in most suburbs, but a good example of the difference between Fuquay and Cary, Apex, and Holly Springs is that there is no Target currently in Fuquay compared to those other towns, but a Target is on the way to the quay. Having a Target doesn't mean you're on the map, but it does demonstrate that with a Target coming, Fuquay is still in growth mode. Yes, Fuquay-Varina may be a pretty tricky town name to say, but it is actually a great place to live. If you are interested in a move to Fuquay or anywhere in the Raleigh-Durham, I would love to help you out. Please reach out to me at info@keithorealty.com or the number on your screen. I'll see you next time.